According to Mark Consuelos, Kelly Ripa's husband and presenter of Live with Kelly and Mark, she was the worst decision. What did he mean by this, then, and does Mark still maintain that position? For more information, continue reading. When Kelly Ripa and Mark Consuelos, former All My Children stars, first met, it was not an easy moment. Despite their intense love, they decided to stop their relationship. Then, during a live engagement, they got back in touch, and the rest is history. Since their 1996 elopement, the pair has been blissfully wedded. Mark and Kelly had 3 kids together, and he now co-hosts their popular morning program with her. Kelly sat with Michael Strahan, Ryan Seacrest, and Regis Philbin before Mark. But when she required a new co-host, Mark was the obvious choice because he would always fill in when a co-host wasn't there. After a great collaboration, they are now relocating to a new studio in the heart of the city. Their old studio holds many memories, so this is a big change, but it was time for a change. Along with the studio comes Mark and Kelly's previously mentioned reunion. They made the decision to break up when they initially started dating. Then a live appearance appeared, which was a blessing in disguise. Although they were unexpected guests, the two made an effort to avoid being seen because the split was fresh and unfiltered. However, Mark realized he had made a huge mistake the instant he laid eyes on his ex. Mark's sole remorse regarding the elopement was that he neglected to obtain permission from Kelly Ripa's father. Even though it has been almost 30 years, he still remembers that one instance in which he made a mistake. Progressing and rising from All My Children to live with Kelly and Mark, Kelly Ripa and Mark Consuelos have a great working relationship. Fans are eagerly expecting the new studio unveiling, though, as significant changes are on the horizon. They are not pleased with the show's prolonged break in the interim. There are many queries about the lack of the most recent episode, which broadcast 3 weeks ago. However, the new studio will be presented on Monday, April 14th, and filming will begin on April 7th. Renovating over spring break was the original plan, but it has since been abandoned. Following the airing of a studio tribute, fans became quite upset about the shift. It is hoped that they will like the new studio and that Mark Consuelos will be able to create more wonderful memories with Kelly Ripa. At last, he acknowledges his errors and vows never to allow Kelly to escape again. Do you believe that Mark was wise to seize Kelly as soon as he saw she was the one? It was a moment no one saw coming. Live on air during a cheeky relationship segment on Live with Kelly and Mark. Mark Consuelos dropped a bombshell that left the audience gasping, the crew stunned, and Kelly Ripa speechless for nearly 3 full seconds, a record in itself. With that signature mischievous grin and a glint of something playful in his eyes, Mark looked directly into the camera and declared, honestly, Kelly was the worst decision I ever made. You could have heard a pin drop in the studio, until Kelly's eyebrows shot up in theatrical disbelief and the crowd burst into shocked laughter. And just like that, daytime TV got its juiciest quote of the week, and social media exploded. But as with most things in the world of Kelly and Mark, there was more to the story, and it turned out to be classic Consuelos comedy, with a little unexpected wisdom tucked in between, from soap set to soulmates, with a dash of snark. For fans who followed their story from the beginning, it all started in the 90s on All My Children, where Kelly Ripa and Mark Consuelos played on-screen lovers before quickly becoming real-life ones. Their whirlwind romance led to a secret Vegas wedding, 3 beautiful kids, and now a co-hosting gig that turns their marriage into morning TV gold. But even picture-perfect couples have their moments, especially when they host a show together 5 days a week before most people have had their second cup of coffee. During Monday's episode, the couple was playing a segment called Regret Roulette, a lighthearted cue and a game where viewers submitted questions anonymously. One viewer dared to ask, "What's the biggest decision you wish you could take back?" Without missing a beat, Mark leaned in and said, honestly, Kelly was the worst decision I ever made. He held the silence for maximum effect before adding with perfect comedic timing, because after her, nothing else in life could compete. I peaked too early. The audience erupted. Kelly blushed. The cameras caught Gelman facepalming in the background. It was classic Mark, sarcastic, smooth, and head over heels in love with his wife, even while trolling her on live television. Twitter takes it literally, of course. Of course, the internet didn't wait for context. Within minutes, #worst decision started trending, with half of Twitter thinking there was real trouble in paradise. Tabloids leaped at the quote. One clickbait headline screamed, Mark Consuelos slams Kelly Ripa alive on air. Another speculated on a potential on-set marriage meltdown. Even former co-host Ryan Seacrest texted Kelly mid-show to ask, everything okay over there? Kelly responded during the commercial break by showing Mark her phone and mouthing, this is your fault. He just winked. Kelly claps back, never one to let her husband steal the spotlight or the last word. Kelly addressed the buzz head-on in Tuesday's episode. Ladies and gentlemen, she began, holding up a tabloid cover. Apparently, I am my husband's worst decision, which is fair, considering I once let him frost his tips in 1999. The couple then launched into a hilariously candid worst decisions segment, where Kelly revealed that she was the one who insisted they try ballroom dancing classes. They quit after one lesson. And Mark admitted that moving a treadmill into their bedroom during lockdown was a fatal error. We all make choices, Kelly said dramatically, hand on her heart. Some people choose love. Some people choose a king-size treadmill next to their nightstand. Who's really suffering here? The marriage built on laughs. What sets Kelly and Mark apart? And what has kept viewers loyal to Live with Kelly and Mark is their willingness to let audiences in, not just into their glamorous moments, but their messy, human ones. Their marriage is filled with inside jokes, mutual teasing, and occasional on-air spats that mirror real-life relationships. In an age where celebrity couples are often polished and poised, these two are refreshingly real. When asked by a fan later in the week whether she was offended by Mark's worst decision comment, Kelly laughed, not at all. I know I'm his worst decision. That's why I make it so hard to leave. Mark chimed in, I'm still paying off that mistake. Emotionally, physically, spiritually. Behind the humor, a deep bond. Though they joke constantly, there's an undeniable tenderness underneath it all. In interviews, both have spoken about the challenges of balancing careers, kids, and marriage in the public eye. We argue, we disagree, but we always come back to laughter, Kelly once said in a podcast interview. Mark makes me laugh when I least want to, and that's probably the secret. Mark echoed the sentiment on Live the following Friday during a quieter moment between segments. In all seriousness, he said, Kelly changed the entire direction of my life. Meeting her was like accidentally winning the lottery. If the prize also criticized your driving and rearranged the dishwasher every night. Kelly rolled her eyes, but the smile that followed said everything. Fans rallied behind the couple. Despite the initial stir, fans quickly caught on that the worst decision moment was pure playful banter. In fact, it brought a wave of affection for the couple across social media. He called her the worst decision, and then made it sound like the best one. This is real love, one user posted. Another added, if my husband doesn't insult me lovingly on national TV, I don't want him. Fan edits, memes, and TikToks flooded in, showing clips of the couple laughing, dancing, and bickering their way through morning television like the couple next door, with better lighting. The power of not taking itself too seriously. In a world where every word gets scrutinized, Kelly and Mark continue to model something special. A marriage that thrives on joy, humility, and never taking themselves too seriously. So yes, Mark Consuelos called Kelly Ripa his worst decision. And in doing so, he reminded everyone watching that love doesn't always sound like a Hallmark card. Sometimes it sounds like a roast. And the best kind of roast comes with laughter, love, and maybe, if you're lucky, pancakes backstage after the show. As Kelly closed Friday's episode with a grin, she said, If I'm his worst decision, I guess he's stuck with me. And frankly, I'm not going anywhere. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below.